Good evening, Pats Nation. This is the CLNS Media Network's New England Patriots Postgame Show. I am your host, Mike Molyneaux, alongside my co-host, Marvin Ezhan. Whew! Crazy ending to that Patriots and Pittsburgh Steelers game. Final score, 27-24. Patriots get the win. The ending to that game, the last 2 minutes, if you're a Patriots fan, you know, obviously you saw what Brady, Gronkowski, Dion Lewis did with their game-winning drive. And then the defense comes out, and one moment you hate the defense. You figured, oh, they just cost you the game. And then the next minute, they save the game with the interception that completely ends the game. Patriots squeak out of Pittsburgh with a victory.
Where do you even begin with this game, Mike? There's so many things we can talk about during this game. Like you said, 27-24. The battle between Brady and Roethlisberger, both quarterbacks had a pretty good game. You know, Steelers, for the most part, controlled the pace of the game. Running the ball with Le'Veon Bell, had an amazing game. Le'Veon Bell, 24 rushes, 117 yards, also added 5 catches, 48 yards. It was the Le'Veon Bell show throughout. And then another story is Antonio Brown gets hurt in the first quarter, drops a touchdown in the end zone. I think they're calling it a lower calf injury. He got sent to the hospital, so we don't know his status for the future of coming weeks. But Martavis Bryant, another guy who really stepped up. Stephen Gilmore was on a one-on-one in the first half. Bryant got his way, 4 receptions, 59 yards, and got that touchdown on him. But back and forth effort from both teams. Let's talk about the final 2 minutes.
Well, you know, we've seen it time and time again. If you watch the New England Patriots, you know, in that situation, Tom Brady is usually the guy who can handle, you know, a comeback type of situation like they were in this afternoon. You knew Brady was going to do his thing, finding Gronk, big plays down the field. Dion Lewis had some great runs. It was just a combination. Brady was locked in, laser passes going to his guys, unbelievable catches. Gronk had a Julian Edelman type catch that you thought it probably grazed the floor. Seemed like it was an inch off the ground, but Gronk was able to get his big hands underneath the ball and secure the catch. And then Lewis just, you know, with the huge, you know, big punch it into the end zone move that he had to score the touchdown. It was amazing to watch, but at the same time, we're used to seeing that happen for Tom Brady in the offense because they're able to get things done like that. But then you come out, Pittsburgh gets the ball.
58 seconds left.
58 seconds left.
At the 20.
At the 20. You know, obviously, it looks like it's pretty much over. There's no way, you know, you don't think it's going to be easy for Roethlisberger to make it down the field, even into field goal position, to have a chance to tie the game. One pass, Smith-Schuster. Gone down the sideline.
To the point where, as a Patriots fan, you're looking like he's going to break away and score a touchdown.
It looked like it, for sure. And, I mean, if it wasn't for, I forgot who, probably stuck his arm out and tripped him up just a little bit to slow him down. If it wasn't for that move, he was probably going all the way to the end zone. And then you get there. You know, Roethlisberger makes this pass to, I think, James, what's the tight end's name? Ooh, Jesse James. Jesse James makes the pass to Jesse James. And, I bet when everybody saw that play,
game over.
It's game over. Patriots defense just screwed this whole thing up. You know, a game-winning drive from Brady right down the drain with that touchdown pass to Jesse James. And then it gets called back because the guy doesn't control the ball when he tries to roll into the end zone. And then, you know, the rest right there, time ran out. They couldn't do anything with the time. No timeouts. It was just the defense came in clutch. You know, as much as we hate the defense sometimes in the plays that they make, they also came in clutch. Crazy.
And you know, you see it time and time again. Patriots really got lucky in this game. Let's put it out there. You know, the drive was amazing. 2-minute drive. Tom Brady, Dion Lewis, Rob Gronkowski. We're gonna get on Gronk later in the show because he was incredible throughout this game. But you leave 58 seconds left, Mike. There's no way your Patriots defense should let the Steelers even get close to score. Maybe you let up 3 points and you're thinking overtime, but to get that close, it was such a blown coverage on Juju Smith-Schuster, Jordan Richards. If you look at the play again, Jordan Richards dives for Smith-Schuster, a horrible play, and lets him go off. Crazy. And then the Jesse James touchdown that wasn't called, lucky break. He didn't need lucky break. It's clear. I don't think it's a controversial call. Once you really look at it, he doesn't have full control of the ball. I think it's his left hand that slips off and it falls. But he didn't even need to do all of that. The Steelers were primed to score in that position. And then you talk about the interception that they get at the end of the game with Harmon. Wild finish. We see you guys commenting right now. Some people saying they're sweating. They need Meze to calm down. And it was a really, really ridiculous game. Keep commenting, letting us know how you felt about this game, Mike. But Robert Gronkowski, he came back with a vengeance, Mike.
Absolutely, absolutely. 9 receptions, 168 yards. Wow, you knew that Tom Brady has his guy back. You know, his top target, #1 option. Tom Brady was going to be finding him as much as possible. And man, did Gronkowski have a game. We're not surprised. You know, this is a guy, he couldn't wait to get back on the field, you know, after everything that's taken place that led up to a suspension. He couldn't wait to get back on the field. And I know for a fact Tom Brady couldn't wait to have him back either. Huge game from him, especially in that final drive. Brady was just locked in, dropped back, and he's going to Gronk. Didn't look. I don't even know if he looked anywhere else when he dropped back in those final 2 minutes. He was just looking for Gronk because, you know, big-time players make big-time plays, Marv. Yeah. And that's what Gronkowski is. That's certainly what Tom Brady is. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that Gronkowski, 1, had the game that he did today, and 2, was as reliable as he was that final 2 minutes that led to the game-winning drive.
Gronk, like you said, so Gronk wasn't – and it's like he feasts off Steelers' defense. He's always had a great game against the Steelers. 13 targets, Mike. When's the last time you've seen Brady target anyone 13 times this year, especially without Edelman? So you knew that Gronk was really going to be a key. Another key player in this game was Brandon Cooks. He had 4 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown early in the game. You know, the first play was a bomb to Cooks. It seemed like they were really trying to work him into this game as well.
It sure did. I mean, obviously you get Gronk back, top option, like I said, but Cooks, you know, Brady has to look somewhere else. It can't be all Gronkowski. You know, Brady has to have another guy he can probably go to. And Cooks has been holding down a solid role all season long. And like you said, he had the lone touchdown from Tom Brady. Brady's arm still works just fine. And those plays down the field, you know, there was that one that I think Cooks stepped out of bounds, but so the play got called back. But that was a huge play down the field. And those are the type of plays that you sometimes need to, you know, catch a defense off guard. You know, Cooks has that ability to go downfield and, you know, take the top off the defense and make big plays. Whether it's making a big play or getting a flag call for passing interference, whatever the case may be, he can have a huge impact on a game every time they play.
And so Cooks and Gronk, they really took over the receiving game. But the running game was huge in this as well. First of all, Rex Burkhead leaves in the second quarter with an injury. I think it was a knee injury. Yeah. So he was out for the rest of the game. But you had Dion Lewis, and it was Dion Lewis' time to shine. Only 13 carries, but 67 yards, and he had that key touchdown in that late game drive. This is Lewis's time now, Mike. You know, without Burkhead, you're gonna see more, maybe Lewis in the passing game as well. James White, he seemed a little hobbled out there for me today. I don't know if he got hurt earlier in the game. We saw him limping a little bit, but James White didn't look like the James White that we really love to see. So it's more on Dion Lewis's shoulder, and he really rocked out, especially in that second half.
Yeah, it's, you know, like you said, it's going to be a lot of Dion Lewis, you know, moving forward if Burkhead is out for an extended period of time. But it's very, you know, mind-boggling to me as to how come, you know, throughout the whole season, James White hasn't been involved more. I think he had one game where, you know, he put up a decent numbers, and I think that game was against the Atlanta Falcons. Yep. Yeah, where he came out, you know, and played well. But other than that, James White hasn't been involved too much at all. And it's weird because, you know, this is a guy who, you know, some people can make the argument he might be the Super Bowl MVP instead of Tom Brady. You know, he has such an amazing game, amazing performance. And then he come out this season, you know, it's hard to imagine there's a real drop-off in his play, you know, his abilities declined. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, obviously they went out and got Burkhead, but you would figure that James White would have more of a prominent role in the offense, and he doesn't. And, I mean, now, with Burkhead hurt, who knows how bad the injury is, how long he could possibly be out. You know, you would assume, one, that they're going to, you know, activate Mike Gillislee, who's been inactive the last couple of weeks. But Dion Lewis will do his thing, and he's very capable. But it's good to have the next guy step up. And James White, it might be your time to do so if Burkhead is out for an extended period of time. And I think, if he's hobbled, I know you said he probably looked hobbled. Let's hope that's not the case. But the things that Burkhead was able to bring to the team, I know James White is very capable of doing the same thing. So it might be a lot of James White and Dion Lewis moving forward.
And this is why you have the depth. This is why you have your 4 running backs deep, just in case something like this does happen late in the season. You're not too worried. Mike, so outside of just being a crazy game, this game was very important. If you had lost this game, New England Patriots, you will drop down to the 3 seed. And 3 seed looking up at the Jaguars and the Steelers, and that means you have to play the wild card game. And in Bill Belichick's history, they have never won or gone into the Super Bowl starting with that wild card. So now you got the number 1 seed. You control the destiny. You control your own destiny. You have, I believe, Buffalo next. Then you finish it off with the Jets. 2 games that should be winnable. Buffalo, they're still fighting for a playoff spot as well. I believe they're in the 6th spot. So that's going to be a tough matchup next week. And we all know that Gronk's coming back. But they might give a couple extra shots to Gronk because the whole hood want him apparently. So a big matchup next week. This is how crucial this game was to get that number 1 spot, and hopefully you get a first round bye, and the rest of the playoff goes through New England.
Yeah, but I think we've seen over the last couple of seasons that when it comes to the final couple of weeks, sometimes Patriots, Belichick, they like to do some funny business. Especially next couple of games. Jets and in Miami, Buffalo. I'm sorry. Hopefully, it's not a situation where the Patriots are running out the clock, or they always do some weird stuff sometimes.
They can't afford to this year.
In my opinion, and let us know what you think. In my opinion, I know you got the big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got that taken care of. Now you're at top the conference. But in my opinion, you have to look at these next 2 weeks as must-wins. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Obviously, yes, they're winnable games on paper. It's the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Those are winnable games. I think you also just have to go in with the mindset that, no joke, come out and dominate, these next 2 matchups. Because if you look at it, Miami, sad performance against Miami. And then today, you have a game where they didn't have Antonio Brown. They lost him very early in the game. And then you let Le'Veon Bell just have his way, with the defense. I think you need to come out these next 2 weeks, even though it's not a big-time matchup like it was today against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think you need to come out the next 2 weeks and dominate against Buffalo and New York.
Listen up, Hoop fans. Basketball season is back, and now it's time to get your favorite hardwood heroes have returned to action. It's time for you to put your fantasy knowledge to the test, in which you win huge cash prizes every night playing the one-day fantasy basketball at DraftKings.com. At DraftKings, there are so many ways to play. Choose from the public contest with huge cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against your friends. They even got a beginner and casual contest where you'll play against people of all similar skills levels. The best part, you can get to draft your own team every day. And drafting a team is arguably the best part of fantasy. And what makes it better? Winning cash, obviously. Just ask Dan from St. Louis or Jeremy from Austin. They both turned a $3 entry into $1,000. Use the code CLNS at DraftKings.com to play free at your first deposit for your share of $10,000 in total prizes. Don't wait. Use code CLNS at DraftKings.com now to choose your lineup, and you can seriously cash in tonight. The code is CLNS. Only at DraftKings.com, the game inside the game.
We see your comments. A lot of comments flying left and right. We're definitely going to get to them. But one thing I want to talk about just before you got into that, Steelers rolled out Antonio Brown. And you figured, coming into this game, Antonio Brown's probably going to have a pretty solid day. They're going to have to pay a lot of attention to him and Le'Veon Bell. Antonio Brown goes out. It's all Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Smith-Schuster's there, Bryant's there, but you figure Bell's going to get a lot more looks. is it concerning to you? Well, how concerning was it to you that the Patriots didn't have a better time slowing down the offense when, their top guy, the leading receiver in the NFL, is out of the game, and all the focus shifts to Le'Veon Bell and what he's capable of doing? Is it concerning to you that they didn't, do a better job in containing that?
I think Pittsburgh's Steelers game plan wasn't Antonio Brown focused this week. I think the game plan was really to get Le'Veon Bell involved as much as possible and control the clock and not let Brady have the ball. And that's what they did the first half. First half, you barely saw the Patriots on the offensive field. Le'Veon Bell was getting 5-6 yards on over and over again, and the Patriots couldn't get off third down. There was the 3rd and 2s, the 3rd and 4s. Pittsburgh was always completing those, especially to Le'Veon Bell. So Le'Veon Bell was the key, and the Patriots haven't been able to stop the run all year. This is not something new. And then when you get the leading rusher, arguably the best running back in the league, he exposed the Patriots defense. And you have a lot of practice squad guys in there. You got Elandon Roberts, who I honestly think he sucks. He just sucks. I've been seeing a lot of you guys' comments about Van Noy. It's a sad time, Mike, when you have to really wish and be happy that Van Noy is coming back. I know he's played better in this year, but he's just another middle of the line linebacker. And that the fact that Patriots fans and us were waiting for Van Noy to be back, that just shows where this defense is at, especially in the linebacker position. So you have a lot of guys from practice squads, guys learning the system, playing these defensive roles, and they can't tackle. How many times did we see that Big Ben got away from a sack and extended plays? Big Ben was hobbled out there, and he was still running for first downs on third down situations. So the third down defense was a real problem. And with or without it, of course, not having Antonio Brown hurts. But when you have Juju and Martavius Bryant, those are great Robins to Antonio Brown's Batman, and they played well. And Le'Veon was just unstoppable.
Absolutely, man. It was really, interesting to watch. Like you said, it's a lot of practice squad guys, and just young guys out there on defense, and it's tough to watch. It drove me crazy seeing all those plays where, they get to Ben Roethlisberger and they maybe just get a hand on his jersey, and this guy is still able to break away. A big fat, hobbled Ben Roethlisberger. He doesn't want to run with the ball. He's not a quarterback. He can do it. Every quarterback, Tom Brady can run with the ball. But there's some that just don't want to do it. And I don't think Ben Roethlisberger wants to run with the ball. But the fact that the Patriots had so many opportunities where they could have gotten many sacks. I think they only finished the game with 2 sacks, if I'm correct. Yep, only 2 sacks. They could have got to him and sacked him at least a good 4 or 5 times. But it was just tough to watch. And moving forward, obviously, like I said, the next 2 weeks coming up against Buffalo and New York, the talent is not the same as compared to Pittsburgh. But I think you're looking for the defense to come out and have dominant performances against these teams, where these 2 teams are not probably making the playoffs. They're not getting to the playoffs.
Bills are in the playoffs right now. They're in the 6th seed, so that's why it's an important game.
Patriots gonna mess that up real quick. But you still want to see this team come out, play better. I think that's the only way to really put it. You want the defense to play better because, as we saw in those last 2 minutes, Tom Brady and offense can get the job done. They can get it done. You don't have to worry about them. But you want to see the defense play much better moving forward, especially with the playoffs around the corner.
Let's get to some of your guys' comments here. We got Mike. He said we need to tighten up the D. Get Van Noy back. How about number 25 with that big play to end with the leading to the interception? Eric Rowe, Mike, is a guy who's finally working himself back into the system. In these past couple of weeks, he's been playing really well. He's been playing in those dime packages, and I'd love to see him work up to maybe, they like Gilmore at the number 2 playing the big receivers, but he's a starting caliber cornerback when he's healthy, and he's been playing very well. That's the help you need going into the playoffs. So I love what I'm seeing from Eric Rowe. And another Clifton talking about the third down defense. We have to clean that up. Once again, my third down defense huge problem, especially in the first half when you can't get Brady the ball, you can't win.
That is very true.
This was the first of 2 meetings with these guys. We'll see them again at AFC Championship. Very true. It's looking like, Pittsburgh comes to New England, hopefully, and hopefully they win that out. But this Antonio Brown, is he going to be playing? How's Pittsburgh's game going to change from here to then? How the Patriots going to improve when they get a Van Noy back? When they establish Kenny Britt into the system, Chris Hogan comes back. So a lot of factors that are not yet established going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, Pittsburgh's offense has always been one that scares me a lot. They've gotten lucky. The last time they faced Pittsburgh last year in the playoffs, AFC Championship game, they lost Le'Veon Bell to a groin injury in like the first quarter or whatever, early on in the game. There's been times before in the regular season where Le'Veon Bell was suspended one time. Roethlisberger didn't play for injury. But when you have all of those guys on the field, Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown, they're very scary. They always scare me, and especially knowing the fact that, the Patriots defense isn't an elite defense. They're not a shutdown, force a lot of turnovers defense. So what scares me, especially with the possibility of these two teams playing again in the AFC Championship game. Luckily, it looks like that game is going to be played in New England, how things are set up now. But, I mean, we know what Le'Veon Bell is capable of. We know what Antonio Brown is capable of. So, a game, AFC Championship game, again with Patriots and Steelers, my goodness, it's going to be one that's going to have you on the edge of your seat, in my opinion. But I won't rush it. We're not there yet. There's still a lot of football left to be played, and these two teams have to win and make their way.
We're getting a lot of comments about the catch. Do we think it was a catch? So from hindsight, when you're looking at it, yes, it's a catch. Anybody will believe it's a catch. But through the rule books, if we're going by the rules, by the NFL rules, no, it's not a catch. I hate how this catch thing is becoming debatable. If you look at it, anybody from a fan looking at it, that's a catch that should have counted. But by the new NFL rules, him hitting the ground, not having establishment of both hands, the ball moving, then it's not a catch.
Simple as that. I mean, when the play first happened, I don't think anybody was focused on his hands at first. I think everybody was just looking to see, was he in? Did he roll over? Did he get touched? Obviously, referees have to look at the play, and that's one thing I noticed. I mean, I think once the commentators brought it up on the TV while you were watching, I think that's when everybody said, "Oh, he really didn't have control of the ball once he went into the end zone." It wasn't a catch. I mean, I know Pittsburgh Steelers fans are probably livid right now.
They're in the comments right now going crazy.
They out there, I bet. But I mean, watch the replay, fellas and ladies. It's not a catch. The ball hit the floor. He bobbled it. He didn't secure it. So, it is what it is. Believe me, if I was a Steelers fan, it probably hurt me too.
Oh.
If I was a Steelers fan, it probably hurt me too. But I think, the right call was made. Patriots won the game. We're moving on.
We got a question. Who do the Steelers have left on their schedule? And they have the Texans and the Browns. So 2 winnable games for the Steelers too, which puts more emphasis on why the Patriots need to take care of business against Buffalo and the New York Jets.
Yeah, man. It's going to be the race to the end of the regular season. I mean, obviously, this was a big game, but, both teams, in my opinion, want to win out, to help not only bolster their confidence going to the playoffs, but you also want to come out healthy and having a dominant performance, and then you get the bye week. Hopefully, probably get the bye week. And then moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top and what 2 teams are playing in the AFC Championship game, the divisional game. Everything's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out because there's a lot of football left with teams moving around. They have must-win games coming up.
And, Mike, we finally see what happens when the Patriots force a turnover. We've been asking for this all season. Turnovers, something that made the Patriots defense great that they haven't been doing these past couple of weeks. And then finally, a big time moment. Harmon makes the catch. And it's good to see Harmon be the one to do it, especially last week when he riled up the defense together and he was really yelling. He was talking the talk, and this week he walked the walk, bringing that defense and ending that game with a statement like that can really rile up the defense going further in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, that video, Harmon, talking to the defense, giving them just what looked like such a passionate speech, that was huge. There's always usually a guy on the team who steps up and does that, and the teams need that a lot. So, I mean, hopefully moving forward, more plays can happen like this, whether it be Harmon or anybody else on the defense. Big thing that we're looking forward to seeing is turnovers. And if you can force turnovers, you can really turn the tide in a football game.
Mike, we got some people trying to question your credibility. Can you answer this? So they're saying that you're a Steelers fan, Mike?
Do I look like a Steelers fan?
I don't know.
Do I talk like a Steelers fan?
Are you doing the Pittsburgh?
Last time I checked, this says the New England Patriots Postgame Show. I'm here after the show week in and week out.
There you go.
So if you want to come talk to me about Patriots football, we can make that happen. People want to question my credibility, saying I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a football fan, and I'm a Patriots fan. Steelers got some good players. Cool, but they lost today to the New England Patriots. That's what it's all about. I apologize if you feel some type of way or you're hurt, but I think those people know how to get in contact with me, so we're going to keep it moving.
I like that a lot. Mike, I'm looking at the time. We could talk about this game. Like, this game was wild. It was a wild game. So many things we can talk about and dive in further. We'll still be looking at your comments, but guys, it's time where we talk about the stars and sorries of the game. Everyone, go in your comments right now. Give us your stars. Who do you guys think is the star of the game? Whether it was a Pittsburgh player, whether it was a Patriots player, and your reasoning. We're going to read them out. MikeNice.
Yeah.
Star of the game.
I'm going to go with Rob Gronkowski. Like I said before, you knew he couldn't wait to get back onto the field after serving that one-game suspension. And he comes back, 9 receptions, 168 yards, and that 2-minute drive at the end of the game, he seemed unstoppable. I've seen a lot of comments coming out. Gronk looked unstoppable. And, I mean, he did his thing. Tom Brady's most reliable target, most trusted target. Gronkowski is a huge reason why the Patriots were able to come out and win this game. He definitely gets a star of the game from me.
And I just have to say ditto, Mike. Ditto for Rob Gronkowski. Unstoppable player. But another person I want to give a star to, Tom Brady. I know he didn't have the perfect game. Even in that 2-minute drill, he almost threw an interception there late. But when it comes to the clutch moments, if you give Brady the ball, he's going to perform. That was this vintage Brady. As Patriots fan, when you watched and you knew you had 2 minutes left, I don't think you were nervous. I wasn't nervous. Were you nervous? I think you knew that the Patriots were going to go down the field. It was about a matter of how much time we were going to leave left for Pittsburgh. And clearly you didn't need much time to leave for Pittsburgh because they marched down the field in a second. But Tom Brady put you in the position to win this game. So I'm going to give it a star to Tom and Rob Gronkowski.
I'm going to give out another star, but this player doesn't play for the New England Patriots. Does that make me a Steelers fan now? Because I'm giving out a star?
Oh, you guys might be right. Maybe Mike is a Steelers fan.
I'm going to give out a star of the game to Le'Veon Bell. Not only did he have a great game, but he's also on my fantasy team, and he's helped push me to the finals.
Wow.
Le'Veon Bell, great performance. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope you continue the great work next week in my finals matchup. So, yeah, Le'Veon Bell. And I see some people in there that agree with me. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell started the game for sure.
We got Juju as well from Jose. Juju had a big game. Antonio goes out, and Juju Smith performed. Let me see his numbers real quick. Juju had 6 receptions, 114 yards on 6 targets. The rookie can ball out. He had that big play, obviously, that should have, in my opinion, won Pittsburgh that game. But unfortunately, because of that call, which we're going to see a lot. Yeah. And I hope in this offseason, as I am a Patriots fan, I am before it comes out, I am a Patriots fan, but this is a couple times now where Patriots got lucky in situations like this. If you remember the Jets game early in the season with the tight end Safarian Jenkins, it looked like he had a touchdown and then they ruled it a fumble. So a lot of these things, if it looks like a touchdown, if it looks like a catch, it just has to be a catch. We need to stop changing the rules so much and make it obvious. But Juju had an incredible game, so I agree with a lot of you guys in the comments as well. Bell's been everywhere.
I'm laughing at this one comment here from my man Clifton Brown saying his sorry of the game goes to Mike Tomlin for running his mouth 3 weeks ago. He was coming out saying a lot. While the Patriots are doing their thing, taking on their opponents week in and week out, Mike Tomlin was running his mouth, worrying about the Patriots game, and look what happened. Your team comes up with the L. So Mike Tomlin, yeah, you get a sorry of the game. You have any other stories?
This was a great game from both teams. It's not really. I don't really have a sorry for many players. I mean, it sucks. I got a sorry. I have a sorry.
Who is?
I have a sorry. You know, we've been doing this show right now. Some of the comments couldn't even get aired because people throwing out explicitives and stuff because they're so mad. I have a sorry for the Steelers fans. You guys come into this game. You're finally gonna beat the Patriots. Juju makes that incredible play. You're probably celebrating in your house, cheering. We're gonna beat the Patriots. It's over. You're starting thinking Super Bowl. We're gonna get Antonio Brown back, and then that damn play happens. Then Ben Roethlisberger does what he does best, throws a late interception, and the Patriots win. So for the Steelers fans out there, from CLNS, we're giving you a big fat old sorry.
Better luck next time. Maybe you get your chance to crack at the Patriots game if you get there. Hopefully the Patriots get there as well, so we can maybe see this great matchup again. But yeah, I have to agree with you. What are these comments coming out? The Steelers fans are extremely tight right now. This person here lives in Pennsylvania, can hear people screaming in anger about this loss. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. I mean,
Patriots, so the conspiracy. This game is rigged. They cheated. You're gonna hear a lot of crap during this week, and it was a wild game. I haven't seen a game like that in a long time.
Oh yeah, that last 2 minutes, as high as you could have gotten, I think everybody's probably dropped pretty low too at the same time. If you are a Patriots fan or a Steelers fan, because 1 minute you probably think you won, another minute you probably think you lost. Then you got the call and plays, and oh my goodness, it was wild. But at the end of the day, with 11-3 records, if I'm staying corrected,
both have the same record.
Both have the same record. I think 11-3. So yeah, moving forward, the next 2 weeks, Patriots want to get, in my opinion, dominant victories. And I think the Steelers will look to bounce back. We'll see what happens in the news that comes out with Antonio Brown's injury, but that's the guy that they need. They definitely want to have. We'll be paying close attention to the news that comes out.
Next week against Buffalo Bills.
Must-win game.
Must win.
Must win. Come out with a dominant performance. Obviously, yes, you've taken care of the Bills early in the season. And especially for the defense, whoever they play at quarterback, because I feel like Buffalo flip-flops week in and week out. Whoever they play at quarterback, be ready to go and have a solid game, solid performance against the Buffalo Bills. Any final thoughts, though, Marv, as we prepare to wrap up?
Big win from the New England Patriots, but not a convincing win. Still a lot of things that they need to clean up, especially defensively. The defense looks really, really bad out there. And you got to get some guys back like we've been talking about this whole time. So it's going to be real interesting. Hopefully Chris Hogan comes back. Kenny Britt, we saw a reception from him working into the system. So that's all I have to say. Big game, like you said, against the Bills. Must-win game. We will be here. Make sure to check us out.
Very true. Excuse me. Want to thank everybody for commenting all the funny jokes that I saw, people going back and forth, people questioning my allegiance and all that good stuff. But after the next game, we'll be right back here holding it down on the same CLNS Media Network. But Marvin is on.
Thank you, guys.
We will see you guys after the game next week against the Buffalo Bills.
Signing out.